Catherine Paiz just dropped a huge pregnancy bombshell on Snapchat, and the internet has not recovered. Austin McBroom immediately jumped on livestream to talk about it. But things took a wild turn when Shotty pressed him right there on camera, asking him straight up how he feels about his ex-wife having another baby. The tension, the reactions, the chaos, it all went down fast. Let's break everything down. So on Monday, Catherine revealed on Snapchat that she's pregnant with her and Igor's first child together. And she didn't just post a cute announcement photo. She literally recorded herself taking the pregnancy test while she was away on a brand trip in Doha, Qatar. Catherine said she'd been getting up to pee like 5 times a night, which apparently only happens to her when she's pregnant. So she decided to take a test.
I'm currently in Doha, Qatar, but last night I peed about 5 times and I'm curious, I'm confused.
But she said if it came back negative, she was just gonna throw the whole video in the trash. But the test came back very positive. Like, she said the lines were darker and clearer than any pregnancy test she'd ever taken before, even though she was super early.
I'm pregnant. Oh my God.
And Catherine was genuinely in shock. She kept saying over and over how shocked she was. She explained that she stopped taking her birth control on her wedding day, which was exactly 1 month before this test. She said she started her period 1 week early as she was literally walking down the aisle at her wedding, and now exactly 1 month later, she's pregnant. She said they were being careful and weren't planning on getting pregnant yet, but basically God had other plans. Catherine also called her mom right after finding out and shared that whole conversation on Snapchat. Her mom was shocked too. And then, Catherine posted about how her husband Igor picked her up from the airport after her trip, and he had no idea he was actually picking up both of them. She's been sharing all these sweet moments of Igor making her prenatal meals and just being super supportive. She later confirmed she's about 6 weeks and 5 days along. Igor also posted on Instagram saying that becoming a dad has been a dream of his for a long time. And when he met Catherine, he knew she was the best mom in the world. He said he's going to do his very best to be the best father and husband. People have been really happy for them in the comments. I think everyone just wants to see Catherine happy after everything she's been through. Now, if you're not caught up on the whole Catherine and Austin situation, let me give you some quick background because this context is important. Back in January of 2024, Austin and Catherine announced their divorce. They released separate statements on Instagram, and fans of the Ace Family channel were absolutely shocked. These two had built this whole empire together. They had 3 kids, a YouTube channel that made them millions, and this picture-perfect family image. But after the divorce announcement, Catherine really had this redemption arc. She got so much support from fans and other influencers. People were praising her, telling her to start her own channel, and it was very clear that most people saw Austin as the problem in the relationship. And honestly, Catherine seemed so much happier after the divorce. Like, the difference was night and day. About a year after the divorce, Catherine hard-launched her new boyfriend Igor on Instagram with a picture, captioned, "My love." And normally when influencers move on, the internet can be pretty harsh toward the new partner. But Catherine was met with tons of love and support. I think people were just happy to finally see her being genuinely happy. Then in May of this year, Catherine announced she was releasing a book about her life. And this is where things got really messy for Austin. Pages from the book leaked where Catherine wrote about Austin cheating on her. She specifically mentioned how he brought someone to the Ace Family charity basketball game and how deep that betrayal felt. She talked about feeling like she was living a lie and how everything became about clickbait and what would look best for the cameras. We all kind of knew Austin had been unfaithful, but seeing Catherine actually admit to it in writing changed everything. Austin got a ton of backlash. He did respond to the book, and while he admitted to being unfaithful, He tried to shift blame onto Catherine, saying she didn't want to be physically intimate with him. He also made some wild accusations about Catherine doing spiritual ceremonies at her house where the kids were, and even implied she was having spiritual delusions. But drama aside, both of them seemed to be moving on with their lives. Austin was seeing someone new, though they recently broke up. And in September, Catherine announced her engagement to Igor. On September 27th, they officially got married, and Catherine shared all the wedding photos on social media. People were genuinely so happy for her. So when Catherine announced the pregnancy, obviously people immediately wondered what Austin would say. And here's where things get interesting. Austin used Catherine and Igor's pregnancy announcement photo as his main Snapchat story thumbnail. When I first saw it, I honestly thought maybe he dug up old photos of him and Catherine for some clickbait. Because let's be real, him and his brother Landon are constantly clickbaiting pregnancy stuff. Like, they have this weird obsession with pregnancy clickbait. Landon has even posted old photos of Shyla in a hospital bed before for views. But anyway, Austin went live on Snapchat the same day Catherine posted her announcement. And somehow, coincidentally, he was doing this big collaboration stream with Shotty. And if you didn't see that stream, Shotty actually asked Austin directly about Catherine and the pregnancy on camera. People immediately felt like the whole moment was planned or scripted. It honestly looked like Shotty was reading off a cue card or something. Like they had discussed beforehand, okay, at this point, ask him about Catherine. The interaction was so awkward. Shotty asked him how he felt about his baby mama having a kid, and Austin kind of deflected at first, saying they'd talk about it after the workout. But you could tell everybody was waiting for that question. I do want to point out, though, Catherine wasn't just his baby mama. That was his wife. They were married. They built a whole life together. Calling her his baby mama feels kind of dismissive of what they actually had.
I have a question.
What's your question?
Can you sit down?
Yeah.
How do you feel about your baby mama having a kid?
That's a good fucking question.
No,
Later in the stream, Austin came back and made a more formal statement. He said he didn't want to leave people hanging, but he knew his audience wouldn't let him move on without addressing it. He congratulated Catherine and Igor and said his kids had actually called him before the public announcement to tell him, which he was happy about. He said the kids are happy, which makes him happy. But then he said something that stood out to me. He said he hopes enough time has passed that people can let Catherine live her life and let him live his life separately without dragging them into each other's business. He kept emphasizing wanting everyone to just let life be and let everyone be happy. Now, the internet had a lot to say about Austin's response, and honestly, what really caught people's attention was the clapping. Austin was clapping constantly throughout his statement, like every few seconds. People in the comments were going crazy about it. They were saying things like, the constant clapping. Why is he clapping every 2 seconds? The clapping is his coping mechanism for real. The clapping is helping him keep his emotions in check. But beyond the clapping, people had bigger issues with how Austin handled this. A lot of comments were saying that Austin is always making Catherine's moments about himself. He's always commenting on her life, always talking about her and Igor. People were asking, why is he always talking about them? Does he have anything else going on? And here's the thing. Austin keeps saying he only comments because people keep asking him about it. But people pointed out that if he made it an off-limits topic, nobody would ask. Like if both him and Catherine said, hey, respectfully, we're not going to talk about each other out of respect, then people would stop asking. The stream audience would shut down those questions. But because Austin is so willing to talk about Catherine and her business all the time, sometimes throwing shade, people continue to ask him about it. Meanwhile, nobody really asks Catherine about Austin's life. Like, when Austin and his girlfriend Alexa broke up, nobody was pressing Catherine asking, how do you feel about this? Because everyone knows she's not going to answer. She doesn't speak on his life. But Austin is constantly talking about Catherine and Igor. People even brought up a couple months ago when Austin was interviewing his daughter and asked her how she would feel if him and mommy had another kid together. People found that question so weird and disrespectful. Catherine is fully in a relationship with someone else, married to someone else. Why would you even be asking your daughter that hypothetical? It just felt inappropriate. So that's where everything stands right now. Catherine is pregnant and seems genuinely happy. She's been posting updates about her pregnancy journey, sharing meals Igor makes for her, and just embracing this new chapter of her life. Igor posted that he's excited to become a dad and is going to do his best to be an amazing father. Austin gave his congratulations, even though the delivery was a bit awkward with all the clapping and the timing of it being during his Shotty collab. But at least he was mature enough to wish them well instead of causing drama. Even if people feel like he's always finding ways to insert himself into Catherine's narrative, the kids are happy, which is what matters most. And hopefully, both Catherine and Austin can continue moving forward with their separate lives. Catherine seems to have found real happiness with Igor, and Austin is doing his thing with his Snapchat content. What do you guys think? Did Austin handle it well, or should he have stayed quiet? And are you happy for Catherine and Igor? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Love you guys. See you in the next video.